Hello, everybody. It's Sue from Rivers Escape Crafts. Welcome, or welcome back, depending if you've been here before. Sorry, I have been not. It turns out, remember last week I said my voice was going and stuff like that? Well, it turns out my kid brought me home a summer cold. So, and it has been a nightmare of sinus infection. In fact, I am on an antibiotic, believe it or not. And if anybody knows me, I do not do doctor stuff. So I have felt absolutely miserable. I still feel miserable, but this is the best I felt in days. So we're gonna roll with it, I guess. So I apologize. I know I still look crappy as heck. I'm trying here, doing my best. I haven't even been crocheting all that much. I've been working on some stuff, but not nearly as much as I would have liked to be. I was resting and sleeping, and it was miserable. Yeah, my son has been at band camp and apparently brought me home a nice, I started to feel crappy, and he's like, oh, I've had a sore throat for a couple days now. I'm like, you didn't say anything. Oh, I know. So, yeah. So, that's what I've been up to. I have felt so miserable. I was going to try to make videos. I just couldn't do it. So, I apologize. But I'm back. I'm not 100%. I'm like 50%. But we're going to try to make a video today. So, what I decided, since I've been feeling crappy and not inspired in the least, to come up with patterns or do fun stuff. I have a box of cotton yarn that is holiday yarn that I've had it for a while. So I decided to try to eliminate another box out of my stash. So I'm working on some Christmas. This is going to be the set, one of the sets. I just have to tie the ends in, which we can do. So it's a big kitchen towel in the Christmas yarn, and then it comes with 2 washcloths and a scrubby washcloth. I don't have a lot of this scrubby, so I'm only going to be able to make a set or 2 like this. I thought I had another ball somewhere here, but I don't know where it went. So I'm working on that. I have a bunch of stuff made. I just gotta, like I said, I gotta tie the ends in, which we can do now if you want. I can tie some ends in. Is this fuzzy? Can you see me okay? Yeah, I'm very clear. My eyes are even, I'm telling you, this has not been a fun. Summer colds sucked to begin with, and then I wasn't quite up to stuff to begin with, so I apologize. I know I look terrible. I apologize you have to look at me like this. I've been trying, and I have a lot going on right now, and my body's not been happy with me, but yeah, so we'll tie some ends in, chit chat. So we celebrated my son's birthday and then my husband's birthday. My husband got a tattoo for his birthday, his very first tattoo. He got a mythosaur skull from The Mandalorian, if you know what that is. And, he runs with the Mandalorian Mercs, which is a cosplay group that they go around. You have to build your armor, and they dress up. They make kits, they call them, and they dress up like Mandalorians, if you've seen the Mandalorian on Disney. And it's very detailed. Like, they have such strict rules. My God, he spent forever working on his kit. My husband did, trying to get it that they would approve him to be in the club. But now he's in, and his armor's all approved and stuff like that. So he runs with them, and then he has a Mandalorian name, so he got the mythosaur skull, which is the symbol of the Mandalorians, and then he got his name written in, I believe it's called best, I don't know, in the language. I forget the name of the language. And but he got that done, tattoo done on Thursday for his birthday. So I'm excited for him. I'm happy for him. He's long wanted to, one of those things where it's expensive, you know. He's long wanted to get a tattoo. You know, I got a tattoo 2 years ago for my birthday, and you know, at the time he was like, oh, I'd really still like to get one. And I'm like, well, get one, but he's not one to spend a lot of money on himself. So he was always like, oh, it's so much money, it's so much money. So he didn't want to do it. And so finally this year he's like, I kind of want that tattoo. And I'm like, well, go get the tattoo, you know. Just do it. Do it for yourself. You work so freaking hard, you know. Spend the money on yourself every once in a while. And I have to show you guys this. So I have so many like newer sets of scissors all over the house. And this is my old Swiss set. It's called Swiss. I mean, it's beat to heck. This scissor is still the best scissor I own. It's not nice anymore. It's ugly, but this thing still cuts better than any other scissor I own. So, just say. And I've bought so many scissors, and not cheap ones. I mean, I bought cheap ones. I don't expect cheap ones to last very long, but I've also bought some not so cheap ones, and expecting them to last longer, and no. They do last somewhat longer, but not much longer. And I am, you know, not the kind of person, my cheap scissors are the ones that cut paper, not my expensive scissors. My expensive scissors only cut yarn, or like the string I use to tie up my my shipping stuff or whatever. You know, they don't cut any sort of, or fabric, they do not, or thread, they do not cut paper or anything like that. So before anybody jumps on that one. And yet these Swiss scissors last for freaking ever, and no matter what I do. So, and I know I've cut paper with them. So, that's just my, they don't make them like they used to kind of thing. Now they're heavy, and they're left-handed, and you can only use them if you're left-handed, but still, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so there was that. So my husband got his tattoo. That was exciting, and we had a nice dinner for him. What else we did? And ice cream cake. He wanted ice cream cake, so we had ice cream cake. And the weekend I didn't do too much. Well, I didn't do anything. I was miserable. Hey, I'm having perimenopause problems and sick on top of it. Just not in a good place. So, I didn't do much this weekend. Like I said, I worked on these. I worked on some, these washcloths and dishcloths and hand towels. But that's pretty much all I got done. I'm trying to get rid of my stash here. You know, it just, like I said, I bought all these a while ago, and now here I am, and they've just been sitting in this box that we unearthed while we were cleaning up I told you we reorganized a lot of my stuff, and my husband's like, what's in this box? I'm like, oh, that's all the holiday cotton yarn I bought. So I'm like, well, maybe it's time to get rid of it. use it up. I mean, these are the dish towels. They're nice and big. And then they're 100% cotton, so, they work really well. I really like them. And I think, like, the dishcloths are really cute. So, I said all I really need to do is my ends on these. And this is a set. I have this set done. I have another set. Oh, I have another set. Just needs just needs a hand towel bordered. So I have these. So I can work on that. And then I have another. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize. All right, now. Yeah. Oh, no. I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong. I do. Okay, so that's one set. So I have 2 sets done. Right? Or one set? One set done. One set. One set. And then another one that just needs the scrubby. And then I have another hand towel and another hand towel almost done. So, and I have a bunch of stuff. I have a mess going on. Let's put it that way. Much like I am right now, I have a mess. So, it is what it is. So, how are you guys doing? I've missed you guys. I've missed talking to you guys. I hope I feel better sometime this week. Like I said, summer colds it's hard to get rid of, and having issues with other stuff. So I hope you guys are doing good. It's August now. I can't believe it's August already. We have, let's see. Well, yesterday was my brother's birthday. I called and talked to him for a minute and a half. It was all thanks. And then he got off the phone. It was literally a minute and a half. I looked at the timer on the phone. But I tried, you know what I mean? I tried to wish him a happy birthday, so whatever, that's his choice. And Saturday would have been my dad's birthday, so it was a little tough. And it's hard because it's always like, not only is it like only 2 days after my husband's birthday, but it's 5 days after Logan's birthday, and then of course a friend of ours, her daughter's birthday's that day, and then of course my brother's birthday's the next day, so it's not like some random day in the middle of nothing, that I can not think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's always there around that it's his birthday. And then of course, it's also tough because he also passed away not too long after his birthday. So, I don't know the exact date. I don't do, some people, I don't want to call it celebrate, but some people do death dates, and I don't do that. I know he passed away not too terribly long after his birthday, because we gave him his birthday present, and we hadn't even gotten to give him his birthday present the day he died, so we got to give it to him that day. But yeah, so this is a tough time of year for me a little bit too. I got everybody's birthdays, and then sort of suckiness on top of it, you know what I mean? And then of course I'm sick, and then of course I have other issues, girly issues going on. So, let's see. I haven't even watched much TV because my eyes are all messed up from the sinus infection. I watched some I was glad to see Cinnamon Stitches had a video today. I know she's been struggling with some stuff, life stuff, and I totally respect her privacy right now. You know, she doesn't want to talk about what's going on, and she really shouldn't have to. It's not really our dang business, you know? Like, I feel sort of bad because, like, I did see some stuff where, she's religious about posting videos every day, Monday through Friday, and occasionally on the weekend. And of course, then she asked for, I guess in her members video, for prayers for her family, and said she wasn't going to be, she needed a minute, and and of course people are like, oh my God, what's going on? And then people start speculating, and I don't like that. I just don't like that. I know everybody wants to know. It's human nature to be curious about all sorts of things, and we all want to know, but we also have to respect that she's a human being with a life, and not everything needs to be thrown out in the public. Who knows what it is. Obviously, her son's okay and her daughter's okay, because she was talking about them today. And that's really the most important thing that I was worried about. Like, are her kids okay? You know what I mean? I was more worried something happened to somebody, an accident or an illness of some sort. But she did say today that she obviously talked about both Lucas and Juju, and her niece, so obviously the kids are okay. Not. So so whatever happened or whatever's going on, I'm glad she told us that much, because like I said, that was what I was worried about. I was worried about Lucas or Juju or, even RJ or something. I was like, oh God, did something happen to somebody, because, just because they're kids, stuff happens so fast, and you never know. But, so I was glad to see she did a video today. I was glad, and I'm glad to see she's, holding her ground and saying it's private and it needs to stay private, and that's good, and like, her realizing that she's actually a public figure. And it's like, yeah, you put yourself out on YouTube or whatever, and you are a public figure, and people do, like I said, people do a lot of this stuff. I saw, okay, like, I have to say, the overwhelming stuff that I saw with Cinnamon Stitches was people being concerned and sending her prayers and thoughts and good vibes, and hoping that everything was okay or everything would work out, overwhelmingly, that's what I saw. Apparently, there was, and I did see a little bit, people speculating things and coming up with stuff, but overwhelmingly it was very just supportive and concerned, and people just wanted to make sure she was all right. And like I said, I was thrilled to death that she talked about the kids, because I'm like, oh, please don't let something happen to the kids. That's the worst thing I can imagine, to be honest with you. I've been to a ton of funerals, unfortunately, in my lifetime. Well over 40 funerals. And I tell you, I would do anything in the world to never have to go to a child's funeral again. I don't have, and I don't want this to come off as like macabre or whatever, but when somebody's old, and lived a good life, it's hard. Don't get me wrong. And it's hard losing people. And it always will be. But when you go to a funeral of someone, or a memorial service or whatever it may be, of someone who lived a good life, you know, like, perfect example was my great aunt Minerva. She was 100. And to be honest, I mean, I wasn't all that sad. You know, she had said to me previously that she was ready to go. You know, she said to me, everybody I know is gone except, you know, like, you younger people, you know what I mean? But, like, she wanted to see her parents, her sisters, her, you know, she's like, everybody in my world is gone, you know, and I get that. So when I went to her funeral when she passed away, I mean, it was sad, but it wasn't sad. You know what I mean? Like, I knew she was at peace. I knew that's what she wanted. You know what I mean? I knew she was ready to go. And so I was fine. You know what I mean? I was fine with that. But like, I've been to a few funerals of people under, let's say, the age of, you know, anything. I mean, anything teens and under is, oh my God. You know, 20s and stuff is almost as bad, but like a child, ugh, it's so heartbreaking and difficult, and, you know, you know, I've been to a few, and most of them have been people that passed away in accidents, and they're hard, really freaking hard. Nobody should go through that. And so, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get all negative and stuff. I'm gonna have to let you guys go soon anyway, but, you know, but I'm super glad to hear that nothing happened with her kids. I mean, that was my biggest concern. And like I said, she talked about it a little bit today, and I was like, oh, thank God. You know, everything else. And she said nobody died, you know. So, you know, everything else, not to minimize it, but, you know, has a place. So it can go through, you know what I mean? I don't know what happened. She is more than, you know, that's her secret, or her to deal with. And I support her 100%. I hope feels a little bit better. I hope whatever it is at least gives her some solace shortly. But I don't know the way she sounded that it will. So I don't know. Other than that, like I said, I'm so sorry. I'm tired and I don't feel good. And hopefully these antibiotics, I'm on day 3 of the antibiotics, so hopefully they start really kicking in shortly and I can get some real relief from whatever this cold or whatever it is. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. It's good to see you all. It really was. I miss you guys. Hopefully maybe tomorrow I'll feel a little bit better. Fingers crossed. We'll see. But thank you so much for joining me. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate all of you. And choose love every day. Bye, guys.